Hello, welcome to my live. It's Friday the 13th of February and it's 6 o'clock p.m. UK time. Um, as always, I come here every Wednesday and every Friday to discuss about all things to do with mental health, therapy, human behavior, psychology, mindset, emotional intelligence, spirituality, anything to do with the mind, and any way we can enhance our quality of life through self-awareness. And so this is my mission. My job is to teach people how to have a better understanding of themselves and others so that we can help, we can deal with, we can sort out our baggage, but also we can function better with others in the world. I'm going to be here for a couple of hours. I'm here always between 6 and 8. And the way I start my live streams is by reading and commenting on some of my short videos that I post every day. And so I'm going to do just that. And also a reminder before I do that, I post one long form content every week on YouTube. So if you have interest in long form videos, I also do them. Short, longs, and live streams. Okay, let's get started. The first post that I'm going to read goes like this. Changing your mind when presented with new information is a sign of intelligence. Accepting that you are wrong at times is a sign of humility. Admitting that you don't know something is a sign of honesty. And so what this means is that being vulnerable, instead of pretending to be perfect, offers connection, growth, and peace. We are trying so hard to protect ourselves against the world, but we're actually protecting our own ability to connect with people and to make the most of our power. We're holding ourselves back. Next post. Your boundaries upset them because they will no longer benefit from you having none. And what this means is that people who are resisting your boundaries the most are the ones that you need to have boundaries with the most. And the reason why we're resisting it is because they have benefited from that all those years, precisely. Next post is about something a bit more political. Positive masculinity perpetuates the narrative of a toxic patriarchy. Society doesn't need positive masculinity anymore than it needs positive femininity anymore than it needs positive non-binarity. What we need is positive humanity, and a society that accepts, respects, and supports all expressions of that humanity at the same level. And so very often we hear about someone needs to have a positive role model, positive masculinity. But no one talks about positive femininity. And why? Because patriarchy. And a lot of people talk about a new model of being masculine. And I understand where they're coming from. We need to get started somewhere. But the way that I see it is that that whole narrative is still wrong. We shouldn't need to be some sort of masculinity or femininity. Just be a human being, and whichever way you come out, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat is okay. And society should make a space for everyone. And so for those who want to, or who are naturally inclined to be very masculine or very feminine, it's okay. But no one needs it. Or more precisely, not everyone needs it. Maybe some people do. But we don't want to believe that everyone needs those sort of things. There are a lot of very wonderful, happy human beings that have been raised by lesbians or gay parents, for instance. Anyway, Benny Kibbs, hello Didi, always good to see you live, thank you. And so, again, I'm going to keep on reading some of my posts until some of you ask me some questions, and then I will engage with you, because this is why I'm here for. I'm here to take questions and discuss anything you'd like me to discuss. But until this happens, I'm just going to fill up the silence with some comments on my own post. Next one. Using mentally ill as a slur is as unkind and unproductive as mocking people for having a cancer or some physical illness that they have never chosen to have. And so I see this a lot. If you do this, you're mentally ill. And it's the wrong way to go about it, because no one chooses to be ill physically anymore than anyone chooses to be ill mentally. So I think it would be a great thing to normalize, stop using mentally ill as a slur. No. If someone has a physical illness, we show empathy for them. We don't make them feel bad about it. Next post. Some people resist the notion of empathy because empathy means expanding their understanding of the world, therefore challenging a reality that took them a lifetime to build. And it is often easier, if we live with fear and trauma, to sit in the comfort of our own ignorance. And so that explains why so many people find it difficult to be empathic to others, because you mean dropping their shields, their suit of armor, and expanding their own understanding of reality altogether. And and if they have fear and trauma, it is a reality that took them a whole lifetime to construct and to put together. So without it, they will be lost, will be left with nothing. And so the inability to have empathy is the inability to be vulnerable, as I was talking about just before. And it's a system. And sometimes it's the only system that people know. And that's why we can't let go of it. And that's why it's so hard for people to change or to heal. Samir Badge J said hi. Hello. Any questions, guys? Next post. The news, the media, and history never told us the truth. Only a few people don't realize this in our days and age. The news, the media, and the history that you choose to watch, entertain, and share, however, tells the world about what sort of truth you want to be true. And so now we are realizing, thanks to social media, TikTok, that everything that we thought was the truth, passed on by the news, the media, even history, even things that doctors tell us, were all some sort of propaganda. But there's a whole divide in the world now. Some people believe in those sort of source of information, some others follow others. And it's more about the choice of source of information we have, that we say, that we show and reveal to the world what sort of people we are, as in what sort of belief we want to be true. Hope it makes sense. And so when I say it's political, it's because it is. I mean, everything is political anyway. But my job here is not to be political. It's to talk about anything to do with psychology and human behavior and how we can make this world a better place individually and collectively. And so it has to be said as well. It's an important part of our mental health. Our mental health is the result of our environment. So whatever is surrounding us, whatever information, whatever kind of narrative we are exposed to becomes part of us. We absorb those things. And this is why the world is in such a state, because people who are at the top, who control the media, who control the information, who control history, they understand precisely how to hypnotize people into believing certain things. If you grow up believing something, it's going to be terribly difficult to challenge this belief once they're installed. So if you've been, I don't know, told that there's us versus them, now already that's not such a great start as far as humanity is concerned. Pumpkin Puff, hi Didi, how are you today? I'm good, thank you so much. I'm peaceful, all good. How about you? How have you been? I've been to the gym yesterday and I realized that, I mean, it's a journey that took me a month to realize. But I've been through a lot of major injuries with my training squats, with my knees, my lower back. And it was so bad that for a while, for a couple of years, I couldn't squat my own body weight anymore. And I thought that I would never be able to squat ever again. But now I've changed my mindset and I'm going back at it little by little. And now, yesterday, for the first time, I was able to do some satisfying weight safely without any pain. But this with the understanding that not long ago, for 2 years, I couldn't squat my own body weight. Yesterday, I squatted 160 kilo with no problem, control, speed, depth, and all. And so the moral behind this is that whatever we think about ourselves, if we can be patient and learn how to look at those situations from a different perspective, there's so much more range of possibilities than we think there are. I really thought that I destroyed my joints and my lower back forever. And yet, but it's a journey that took me a month. And it's the same thing with the mind. It's the same thing with any aspect of our life. Sometimes we really feel that that's it, I've ruined it, I can never go back. But I think we underestimate our potential. I think that all of us human beings will have so much more strength, power, potential, abilities than we think we have. And support as well. Chemistry, you seem cool AF. All right, thank you. I take this. I'm cool AF. Pumpkin Puff. I'm fine. My husband has been sick, so I've been taking care of him and a bit tired from that. But guess what? I worked out for the first time in multiple months. Fantastic. So we are kind of aligned. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, fantastic. I'm so proud for you. It's tricky with injuries, but I'm glad you were able to work on it. So basically, I didn't train with injuries. I spent months, years to heal. And then eventually, once I healed, I started to walk. I started to do bodyweight stuff, baby steps. And I was doing my best to enjoy what I could do. And eventually I realized, I can do more. And I can actually go back to some good weight, but without the same mentality. Now I'm going to be super cautious, listen to my body all the time, and I'm not chasing the numbers anymore. But I don't work through injuries anymore. This is the main problems. We don't want that. If you have an injury, your body's telling you, ouch, stop. So we should stop. We should do something else until we learn how to do it again without the injury. That could be also the same with any other aspect of our life. Jean D+. Hi Didi. Hello. Pumpkin Puff. I'm so sore. Aha, I forgot how hard it is just to move when you're sore. Yes. Yeah. But the beautiful thing about soreness is that the more you do it over time, the quicker you adapt to it, and eventually it doesn't feel sore anymore. The first time when you go back to it, it's always very painful. But then after a few weeks, you can literally train with short amount of rest and no soreness at all. And it's the same thing with the mind. Whatever is new is going to create a lot of contrast into how we feel about the situation. But as we get to do something again and again, just like with everything becomes easier and a new normality. We are designed to adapt in any which ways. And so we underestimate what different time makes. If we allow ourselves to heal, to understand, to look at things from a different perspective, then over time we can all find a solution to any of our problems. Jean D+. It took me a year and a half to get up to 10 kilo dumbbells. To do what? Squats? With dumbbells? No, not with dumbbells. Maybe with a dumbbell. Everyone is different. We don't want to compare, especially when it comes to physical stuff. I mean, with everything anyway. Pumpkin Puff. I have pains, not injuries though. So I had to spend a very long time just stretching. Okay, so that's good. Stretching, massaging. If you have a massage gun, this is great on the legs. Pumpkin Puff. It felt very peaceful. My body remembered more than my mind, which is nice. Yeah. So yes, your body does remember. Your brain whatever that you do, we create some neural pathways about those actions. If you don't do them, they will diminish, but there will still be some remnants of them somewhere. And so when you get back to it, it's already there. And so when you lift weight, it's not just about strength, it's about skill, it's about coordination, it's about timing, it's about learning what muscle to tense, which muscle to lose within each moment of the movement, which part of the body to tense, and so on and so forth. And so it's a real, how do you say, it's like an orchestration. It's a skill. People don't realize. And so even walking is a skill. I didn't know how to walk. I learned how to walk not long ago. So all my life, I was a weird walker. I was either walking very quickly with very short steps, like a geisha, because I worked in restaurants. So restaurants, you need to be very quick, but you don't have a lot of range for your legs to move between the tables. Or I would be walking super slowly, like I was having a spliff, listening to reggae, but I couldn't do long strides. And one of the things that helped me with my squats was to get back to the routine of walking from my heart, because I had problems with my heart as well, blood pressure. So the doctor told me walk. So I went to walk in the park. And then after a month, so at the start, it was difficult for me just to walk, because since the pandemic, I've been working at home. So before, when I was a personal trainer, I would be moving and lifting weight all the time. I would be very physically strong and able. But after I changed career and I became a therapist, I was still going to the office. But then, because of the pandemic, I started to work from home. So that's when I went from doing nothing to training to the gym. And the discrepancy made me have more injuries. And so to heal that, back to what I was saying, I've learned how to walk, humble walking. And I remember when I walked, it was difficult for me just to walk. I used to count the round around the parks. It was very, very fastidious. I had to be consciously focused. I had to have some breaks, my breath, my legs. But eventually, I get better and better. And it's only maybe in the last few months that suddenly I'm able to walk very fast, very easily, without thinking about it. And I can do a lot, like I can do 10,000 steps, 12,000 steps in a day. And I can engage my core. I could feel some part of my core that I didn't know existed. I didn't feel it before. It's not the same as when you lift very heavy weight. The feel is very, very different. But strangely enough, it is that humble walking that has allowed me to reconnect with my whole body, to fix my problems, and now to be able to lift heavy weight again since last night. So there you go. Oh wow, you seem to work on so many things. It's amazing. Oh, I have always been, and I will always be working on myself. This is the journey of a lifetime. So I work on myself physically, but also mentally and emotionally. I really do some work every day, all the time. I'm very aware of that. It's been ongoing all my life, especially since 2009 when I changed. Before that, I was surviving more than anything else. But eventually, my whole mission was to always realize that since I have overcome so much adversity and hurt when I was up to the age of 38, 39, then I had a chance for growth. And so I went berserk in that direction, and I'm still on it. And I will probably always keep on looking at all aspects of my life and see how to make it better. Not because I feel that there's something wrong with me, but because I'm enjoying the growth. And also, it's part of what I do. As I grow, I can help others grow as well. Gene D plus for buys and tries. All right, okay. So in that case, if it's just for your arms, 10 kilo is quite heavy actually. Don't put yourself down. Yeah. Running Man, I don't trust your neck tattoos. Okay. Well, my neck tattoo. My neck tattoo loves you. It's like when people say Jesus loves you. My neck tattoo has no problem with you. If you don't trust it, then you want to look into your own belief system, your own, maybe you have some trauma, maybe you have some very negative experience with people with neck tattoos that you want to address. Yeah, it's just a tattoo. It can mean anything that you want. But if you don't trust it, it says that there's something that your mind is trying to remind you from your own past to do with neck tattoos. Pumpkin Puff, would you say 2009 was when you really started to live your life, or do you feel like everything was necessary for you to grow? Everything was part of it. So from 2009, there was more joy, happiness, elation, sense of growth. But I've always been alive. From the first day, suffering and pain reminds you that you are very much alive indeed. And that's why so many of us try to unalive ourselves. Everything, this is what I always preach, everything about our lives is part of our story. So we want to accept the whole of it. Very often people say to me, is there anything about your past that you would like to change? And I can honestly say no. There has been moments where I thought, yes, I wished that I was a musician, I wished that I didn't do drugs, I wished that this and that. But the reality of that is that this is my life. And so everything that I am now is down to everything else, including the things that I didn't get, the things that didn't happen. And so I must embrace the whole of it and try to make the most out of this. And I do. And that's more than enough to feel satisfied about my existence. As long as I want to change some aspect of my past, I'm still unhappy with some aspect of me. Instead of taking everything as a lesson, everything as an experience, everything as an opportunity for growth. And it is what it is. Even the bad stuff, they're there to help us grow into our human experience. Sometimes people can be very angry when I say everything happens for a reason, and they come back to me and they say, I just lost my mother. How can you say that? And so when it happens, I understand that they hurt and they won't understand what I say. So I just say, I'm sorry that you feel like that, and I wish you the best. However, the truth of the matter is that I wish for them at some point to understand why this happened, because it did happen for a reason. Even if you lose someone that you care for a lot, it's there to teach you about something. It's there to teach you about the value of the love that you had for that person. It's there to teach you about grief and loss. It is a human experience. In the spectrum of emotions and states, whatever that we experience on one end, we will also experience on the other hand. Because nothing exists without its counterpart. And so happiness doesn't exist without unhappiness. Someone that is always happy doesn't even know that they're happy, so they're not experiencing happiness. It's just bland. They need unhappiness to come back to happiness and realize, that was better. And so this goes the other way around. The more we suffer, the more, when we heal, the better we feel. And this happened to me in 2009 when I healed. For 10 years, 15 years, I was high. I was literally super happy every day. Just to be alive, because just not suffering was such a high, an extraordinary, unique, fantastic feeling that was there for like, I don't know, for a long time. But then eventually things, because life is made of contrast, I couldn't stay in that state forever. So then I started to experience some form of anxiety again, some form of depression again, some form of worries and self-doubt. But the difference is that by then I had a new mindset. So I was like, it's happening for a reason. Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling angry? Instead of suffering from that, now I can fully experience those things now that they're back into my life. But it's not a problem anymore. They're there precisely to remind me what it is to be human, so that I can be better at my job when I'm looking after people. If I can't feel what my clients are feeling, then I cannot relate to them. And so all those things are there to remind me about all those things. And so I appreciate them now. I can let them go. That's the difference. I have a system. But yes, we go through a lot of different stages. And even for those who go through an aha moment, it's great to have. But then it's not like there was before and after. That's it. It's just one moment, and there's going to be more moments. So there's going to be more aha moments. There's going to be more moments of acceleration, of mind blown, understanding of self. And some moment where we go down, because life is about ups and downs, and it's okay. Yeah. Where was I? J Cloud, I love you, man. Your advice is true to the core. Thank you, J Cloud. The more you can stack those lessons, the more things improve. Indeed. Thank you for your heart, whoever it is. Who are you? Hey, Lily. Hello. Pumpkin Puff. Also, for reference to working out, my husband and I took inspiration from birds. They fly around, which means they have amazing shoulders and chest muscles, and that's why I worked out recently. Ah. So you want to be as strong as a pigeon, something like that. That's fair enough. Why not? Pumpkin Puff. I want to be strong like a bird and free my mind. Okay, so yes, good on you. Mr. OCD. Hello everyone. I'm judging this and watching Winter Olympics. How did you can? No, I'm juggling this and watching Winter Olympics. All right. Okay. 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 So yeah, well, enjoy the double action, brain action. Who are you? I just got a reply from the city's administration that they accepted my application and are going to give me an appointment for a test. I applied for administrative assistant. Okay, sounds good. If I pass the test, I get a job interview in person. This is very high stake for me. Number one, how do I be in my best behavior? And number two, I have no clue what type of question this test might have. I never even had heard of the test before the interview. I would have assumed the other way around. Okay, let's talk about this. So you have a job interview and it's a big deal for you. And you're asking me, how can I optimize the way I feel, my state, physical, mental, maybe emotional? And number two, I have no clue. So basically, they are the same sort of questions. The problem is that you want to be prepared. You want certainty. And as long as you want certainty, you're going to create worries, anxiety, doubt, self-doubt. You're going to create a worst-case scenario. You're going to create tension and stress. And so the solution is actually very counterintuitive. For you to be at your best state, you must let go of all this. Don't think it's very high stake for you. Tell yourself, it is important. However, it's not the only one thing in the world. I'm lucky to have that. I'm going to do my best. And whatever happens, happens. And my best is good enough. If I get the job, fantastic. If I don't get it, it's okay. If there's going to be something else. If you think it's the only chance I have to do that thing, it's very special. It would never happen again. It's the once in a lifetime opportunity. Now you're creating stress, pressure. You're going to create a limitation. You're going to be limited by fear, by anxiety, that will affect how you sleep, that will affect how you think on that interview, your very physical state, your body language. It's going to affect everything. And so the solution is for you to think, it may work, it may not work. It's okay. I trust the universe. I go along with it. Whatever happens, happens. If it doesn't work out for me, something else, probably better, will be waiting for me on the next corner. But I will still do my best, and I trust that I will learn something out of that experience. I will either get the job, or I will learn about something that I will need to do for next time, so I'm better at it. That's it. And then you say, I have no clue what type of questions. You don't need to know. Again, trust yourself. Go there with the understanding that you are a human being that has been through a lot of things for all of years, for many years, on this, for that you've been alive on this planet. And so you have a lot of information. Trust your intuition and your mind to give you the right information, the right answer, the right insight, the right body language, the right feeling at the right moment, so that you can express yourself in the most optimal way, in a way that is aligned with who you are. Basically, don't worry about it. And again, I know that it's counterintuitive, but do your best, if you can, to choose things that make you happy, that makes you not think about it. Do some breathing exercise, go for a walk, listen to some music, dance, whatever. Do things that are creative, read books that you enjoy. Do things that can stimulate you so that you don't need to think about it. Your job interview is not about whatever you may study overnight. It's about who you are as a person. And that's the result of a whole lifetime. And so it's all inside of you already. Less is more. So yes. Does that answer your question? I mean, I'm just realizing you're not going to the job interview just yet. You're going to pass a test first. Well, just do it and see what happens. We tend to create problems ourselves because we have an internal dialogue that says, this is my only chance. If I F it up, it's never going to happen again. But because of that, we are sabotaging our own potential. Gene D+. What can I do about being overstimulated? When I get overstimulated by people, I get really hyper when I'm alone. Is this preventable? I have Asperger's. Okay. Yes, it is preventable. Just bear with me, please. This is my gym bag. So you get the flip-flops of the shower. And inside of my gym bag, oh, I took it off. I was looking for this. If the gym is too noisy, I put this on and I'm in heaven. If it's not too noisy, I listen to music. Or sometimes I put just one earplug. We all have limitations. We all have a different brain. If you have Asperger's, you will be overwhelmed by some noise at some time of the day, in some places, by some people. And so it's important to know how to be prepared. You may have some earphones that are reducing the noise, or just listen to some music, or earplugs, or earmuff. I avoid places and time, if I can, that are overstimulating for me. Now, sometimes I enjoy the overstimulation if I'm in the right mindset. If I have the right mind frame, I can absolutely enjoy going to a concert and be with some other people. But I need to be in that state. So I need to be prepared for that. The rest of the time, I have an idea of always paying attention to my surrounding, and if it's too much, I find the exit and the alternative so I can resource myself. Yeah? We can either always have two choices. We can change the world or we can change ourselves. And sometimes it's much easier to change ourselves. Like this, for instance. I love those. They're a lifesaver. They make such a difference. Pumpkin Puff. I love that you take both the good and the bad and do what you can to enjoy your life. It's just a rare thing for people to truly accept all that life has to offer. I look forward to thinking like you. It's a skill that we develop. I didn't have this. I used to be programmed for negativity. I used to be obsessed with bad stuff, with anger, with hatred, with blaming others, with judging, with mocking self and others, with belittling everyone, including and starting with myself. And so I didn't do this in the past. I was not like that at all. I've learned to realize that my habits of being nasty and horrible to myself and to others was just a habit that I've borrowed from my parents, from my environment, from society, and that I didn't have to keep anymore. So I've learned how to let go of it and start to practice kindness and compassion, empathy, all those things. It's a skill that took me a long time to develop. Pumpkin Puff. And the hearts are me. I try to use them as agree with you or you're inspiring me. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your hearts. Pumpkin Puff. When I said whoever it is, it's because there may be other people as well, right? So I just want to make sure that no one is feeling excluded if they were to also do this. But thank you for being the main instigator of those little expression of love. Pumpkin Puff. Also, the thing you said about being as strong as a pigeon made me laugh. They're quite strong. When you look at the pigeons, we love pigeons. They have a huge chest. It's like major pecs. One of them major pecs and skinny legs. No legs days for them, but they have wings. That's why. Optimus Prime. I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots. We are here. We are waiting. Okay, good on you, Optimus Prime. 611 6011. Is there evidence that rising anxiety, depression, and perceived threat are influencing political cognition and intolerance of ambiguity? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So those are actually brain facts, like basics. If we're under anxiety and depression, if we feel that we're under threat, we will be on a survival mode. So what it means is that we won't have access to our critical thinking. We won't have access to the part of our brain that is there for growth, because we're on a survival mode. We can either be on a survival mode or on a growth mode. That's it. When we're in a survival mode, we need to react fast. We're facing a danger, right? And so we don't have the luxury to access our rational, analytical, logical mind, or bank of templates and information. Let's find out, let's compare, let's remember. No, it's got to be instant, good or bad, dangerous or safe, friend or foe, right here and now. And so because of that, this is precisely why the media, who are all corrupted, keep everyone in a state of anxiety and division so that we can easily manipulate them. Because if you're in a state of division and overwhelm and fear, doom and gloom, the foreigners are coming over, then you don't have access to critical thinking, and they can make you believe anything. Absolutely. This is a very important aspect of the things that I talk about. I don't talk about it like that, but essentially, my aim is to teach people self-awareness so that they understand themselves, so that they can heal some of their own baggage. But also, as we're healing our own baggage, and as we understand that everyone has their baggage, we can learn to reconnect with one another, and we can be more able to differentiate between hate propaganda and the real news. We can learn to reconnect and build a better society for the next generations. And it's not that it's a rising in anxiety or depression. I believe that it's always been like that. I believe that there's always been mental health problems. It's just that in the past, people used to cover it up. Now, we talk about it. There's education, there's an awareness, there's less stigmatization, there's the social media and the internet. And so people are educated, so we talk more. It's not that there are more anxiety in the world, it's that we are talking more about the anxiety that exists already. It's always been there. If you talk to any GP, 95% of their clients, of their patients, go and see them because of stress and anxiety related problems. So it's always been there. A lot of people say mental health was not a problem back then. Yes, it was the same. People were not autistic. Yes, anyone who collected stamps. And, you have so many signs for everyone. We can see that now. ADHD, something, and other ones, borderline. If you can understand the nature of borderline personality disorder, or bipolar, then we can really understand how so many people are victims of their mental health, but they've been blamed and judged for being bad people. But no one chooses that. It's always been. It's always been. So it's a good thing that we're now being more educated about it, and we are spreading more awareness about that conversation. So yeah, 611, Mr. OCD, tea break, anyone? Okay, tea break for me. Reborn. Oh, hello. How is your relationship with relatives? Are they kind to each other, or is it more interest-based? My cousins, for example, only call me when they need something. Everyone is different. I don't have much connection. I speak to my mum regularly on the phone, and I haven't been to see them for a while now. But in the past, I used to visit my mum and my brother regularly because we live together in France. That's it. I see some of my cousins every now and then. If they come to London, we meet for a sandwich, cup of tea, a little walk in some touristy part. I don't have much connection with my family. But you know what? It's okay. If this is how it works for us. You say your cousins only call you when they need something. So we can talk about this if you want. But whatever happens between you and your cousins is not because of them. It's because of how you choose to allow this relationship to be. You can easily, if you're not happy about the nature of the relationship that you have with your cousins, you can change this. It's on you. We can talk about this if you want, but it's absolutely on you. You can't expect them. You can't expect them to change, but you can change your own behavior, so that in turn they may change accordingly. Pumpkin puff. Oh, I know it's not just me giving the little heart just when you talk to me or you say something funny. Okay, thank you. Crowberry Black said hi. Hello, Crowberry Black. Jean D plus. Headphones don't work when I have an interview or appointment, but I get what you're saying. If you have an interview or an appointment and it's overwhelming for you, you need to communicate that, you know what, I have that condition, I need to be in a safe space, I need to be in a quiet space. Because otherwise, you are being unkind to yourself. You're putting yourself into a condition, a situation that is overwhelming to you. And it's going to create some stress. It's going to affect you for the rest of the day. At night, you're going to still feel it in your body. It's going to affect how you think as well. And so it's important for you to start to prioritize yourself and be transparent and tell people, I've got Asperger's. Let's do that interview in a quiet room. We can close the door. No, it's just you and me, right? Does it make sense? Can you see yourself finding a way around it? Pumpkin Puff. I do have an actual question, by the way, even though this is a fun conversation. I was wondering, outside of DBT, what can I do to not focus on tone when talking with people or my husband? You can't. You will focus on it. The problem is not that you focus on it. The problem is what you do with that. Right? So basically, we have some little radars that are working for us all the time. And if we have been traumatized or if we have BPD, then we're going to capture little things all the time. And our nervous system is basically doing it. Our nervous system is like a subconscious scan, constantly scrutinizing our environment, little things. Facial expression, tone of the voice, body language, the hesitation, tiny little things, shift of energy. If you have trauma, we perceive all of those things and we will notice them. Now, what matters is what we do with that at the next moment. And so, so can you give me an example about how focusing on tone is a problem for you, please? How we can address this? If you realize that we're changing the tone, you can catch yourself thinking this, and then tell yourself, what does it mean? Does it mean this? Maybe not. Maybe it means that instead. And that new meaning that you are giving will make you feel better. Learn how to choose better meanings to things. So it's a process. So that's why I need you to give me the example so that we can use it to do this together if you want. Jean D+. I wish I could stop myself from multitasking and overeating after I get overstimulated. I try to redirect my energy and maybe go for a walk with my headphones on. Yes, so there you go. Go for a walk with your headphone on. And you may succeed at times, you may not, and it's okay. As long as you keep going, you'll become better at it. Doing these other things, right? Again, dancing, you can dance. How about that? If you can't dance like me, do it at home when no one is watching. But it's a great thing to do, to let go of the stress, the tension, and enjoy yourself. I try to redirect my energy. Have you thought about going to some Zumba classes, for instance? Those are amazing places to care for ourselves. Jean D+. It's just like 2 hours of my brain being overheated and I can't think and just do. So yes. So that's why, first, preventive. You must do your best to organize something that don't get you into that state. And next, if you have been affected in any which way, in any level, then go for walks. Find something that is easy for you to do that makes you feel better. But we talked about it briefly. I don't know if you were there, but anything with rhythm soothes your nervous system. And that's why a walk is good because you walk at the same rhythm. We are programmed subconsciously to feel safe when there's a pace, a rhythm that is sustained. That is why if we live by the sea, the sound of the waves crashing is going to make us feel more relaxed because there's a rhythm to it. This is why we practice breathing with counting, so we're creating a rhythm. This is why when we rock babies, they stop crying because there's a rhythm. This is why when you're in nature and you hear the sunbirds singing, you feel at peace. But if they stop suddenly, the rhythm is broken and now it feels very strange, very wrong. Mr. OCD, Didi can I ask you how many languages you can speak, as I definitely know it's 3 or more? I used to speak, so basically I used to speak Cantonese and a bit of Mandarin, French, English, and I studied Italian. I was very, very obsessed with Italy when I was younger. So I was nearly fluent as Italian. It's very close to French, so 5. However, Mandarin, all gone. I never spoken, I forgot everything. Cantonese, very rusty because I only speak with my mom, so the vocabulary is extremely limited. And she can't speak French or English very well. So we have developed some sort of weird dialect with some Cantonese, French, and Chinese, and English. But I have some understanding of Cantonese. I can think in Cantonese, and if you throw me in Hong Kong after 2 months, I'll be back to it. So basically, French, Cantonese, and English are the ones that I have now. Italian, I've lost it all as well because I don't practice. If I read stuff, I can remember some bits and bobs. Again, it's very similar to French. But I'm confident that Mandarin and Italian, if I was given the opportunity, if I had to live in China for 6 months, I'd be okay with the Mandarin. And the same thing with Italy. We only retain what we use, and so I'm not that bothered. I do enjoy the idea of maybe learning at some point. I'm very busy as it is, but maybe at a later stage, I wouldn't mind studying Mandarin and Cantonese properly, and also refresh my Italian so that I can be polyglot again. And also always appreciated the idea of learning new languages, German, Spanish, Arabic, Hindi. I love the idea of learning languages, but at the moment, my brain is busy enough as it is. But in the future, I wouldn't mind. For a long time, I was hoping that I would meet someone from a different country so that I have an opportunity to learn a new language with them. But the husband I have is English, and he's also autistic, so he doesn't talk that much. So it didn't go to plan, but it's okay. I can do it on my own. Pumpkin puff. A very simple example but easy trigger is if my husband and I are talking something, he will sigh. A lot of the time he's just breathing, but my brain insists that it's because he's annoyed. Okay, so that's easy to do. Change it. You have to learn. It's going to take some time. It's going to be difficult, challenging, but it's possible. You want to remind yourself, he's sighing. Learn. So I saw this a lot on the internet lately. People say the highest form of intelligence is metacognition. It's not IQ, it's not memory, it's not speed of the brain, it's metacognition. And so what is metacognition? It's what we do through healing and mindset. It's the ability to reflect on your own thoughts. So the ability to know that you are not your thoughts. You can catch yourself, and the name that I use, the system is called cognitive diffusion. So basically it's to realize that thought that I'm having in my head is not the truth, it's not a fact, it's not me. It's just a noise, a thought. So I can ask myself, what am I thinking about? What is that thought about? Why? You can tell yourself, I'm noticing that I'm having that thought. If you can do this, you are dissociating yourself from the thought. And this is metacognition, what people call the highest form of intelligence. So I find it very funny. I love that because it's promoting people to understand about cognitive diffusion, which is what we do. You're talking about DBT, it is a form of it. And so, metacognition. My husband is sighing. What am I thinking about it? I'm thinking, he's not listening to me. And so realize that you feel like that and you think like that because you've been programmed. But then realize that it's just a habit. Is it true? Now that I know better, now that I've been working on myself, is it true that he doesn't care about me? Question that thought. And as you question that thought, you will be able to feel differently. You can say, no, it's not like that. It's not because he doesn't care about me. Maybe because I'm talking in a way that is monotonous and he's bored, or maybe he's just tired, or maybe whatever. But it's not because of me. And I understand what you mean because I've got the same. Again, very similar. My husband is autistic, and I've got BPD amongst other things, and so a lot of his body language would be annoying to me. And for me, it's not the BPD, but let's say the ADHD. Um, Sometime he would do some noise just by breathing. He would do something to do with his nose, and my mind would go, he's doing it on purpose to prevent me from thinking. And this is the state of my brain. I get angry at the world when I do things because I can't think if there's a noise. My mind is taken away. And I'm much better at it now. But in the past, I used to be angry at everything. Helicopter, people in the street, klaxon, delivery driver in the street. Oh, you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to ruin my mental focus. You're trying to prevent me from recording my video, my content, or from writing my stuff, or to do my work on my clients. And I would really, really get into rage state. Um, and then I started to work on myself, and I said, you know what? They're not doing it at me. It's not. It is because it's happening. And so what I need to do is to accept and just let it pass, and eventually I'll be all right. And over time, I've been able to do this. And so you can do something similar in regards to your husband saying, remind yourself it's not something to do with you. It's just something that he does. It's got nothing to do with you. And then you can learn how to let it pass. Look at him from the perspective of someone who is loving and caring and clumsy. So he may do something that you may label as clumsy. He knows that I have BPD. He knows that I shouldn't be doing it. So maybe something it's not that he's doing it on purpose. We don't choose to say or not. But think maybe see him like a teddy bear that is clumsy, but he's loving and caring. So you can't be upset at him when he does that in the future. So try this. It takes time. It's going to take some time for you to become better at that skill. But essentially, it's about you challenging your own thoughts. And as you challenge your own thoughts, you will upgrade how you feel in your body, because what you feel is always the reflection of what you think. Does it make sense? Alex5GG, I'm not going to read your comment, but just so you know, if you're a troll, you're not going to stay very long here, I'm afraid. I'm creating a space to help people, so please be kind. If you need some help, I'm more than happy to do that. But please, no silly comment or trolling, right? I give you one chance. Pumpkin Puff. Recently, I've been taking a second to breathe to keep calm, but I'm still noticing the tiny things that set off all the alarms. So change your thoughts. Literally, think to yourself, is it true that he's annoyed or that he doesn't care about me? Or does that mean that maybe he's just breathing? You have to actively think about that better thought. Pumpkin Puff. I also set a boundary that if we hit a wall too many times, I just end the conversation and we separate temporarily. Okay, this is not a bad system. Yep. Pumpkin Puff. Sorry for my typos today. It's all right. Eraps21. Who put you there? I don't understand, Erap. What do you mean by this? Michelle McGrath. I used to gulp my drinks when nervous because when I was little, my nana used to say I was doing on purpose. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear. I wasn't, but the more she looked at me sternly, the louder I gulped. Okay, so you're a rebel. Good on you. Pumpkin Puff. I 100% understand what you are saying. I understand the angrier towards little things. I understand that my husband doesn't mean to annoy me, and I agree that I should just change how I'm seeing him. That's it. So it's a skill. Again, it's not going to happen just like that. But what you want to do is to, again, practice cognitive diffusion. Remind yourself, they're just thoughts. So what thought do I have in my mind that is triggering that feeling in my body? And that's the thought that your husband is doing it on purpose. Maybe. So then challenge that thought. Is it true? No, it's got nothing to do with me. He's breathing. He's just alive. And so, yeah. So over time, that will help you to relax and let go of the. Michelle, lol, I couldn't help it, but she swore I was. But also, when you're a child, when you do things, it may be something that you have installed over time with your grandma. She reacted because of the things that you did. So maybe it was a way for you to somehow elicit that, to give you some sense of control and agency. Pumpkin puff. I just keep noticing these small things that I felt so silly that it was causing so much emotion for nothing. Yes, this is BPD for you. Every little things become huge and take over everything. And this is another reason as to why we feel so much shame when we have BPD, because we're realizing that we're making such a big hoo-ha out of nothing, and it's pathetic, and we hate ourselves for that. But we don't choose that. Pumpkin puff. But thank you. I will challenge my thoughts towards this. Thank you. Something I wanted to ask. I'm thinking about starting to do some live streams with a landscape mode, horizontal. So what do you think about this? Do you watch me on your phone, or do you watch me on television? Because I saw some YouTube guys saying that apparently 50% of the people now are watching YouTube on the television. And so it's more comfortable for them to see things horizontal and long format. Things are changing. And so I wouldn't mind doing this, but I just was wondering about you guys. Do you watch me on your phone or on television? And which one would you prefer? And does it make a difference anyway? I think if I go landscape mode, even on your phone, all you need to do is to tilt it. Right? Mr. OCD, phone, but yes, I do use TV, but not in this case. Okay, so maybe if I did go horizontal, that will maybe invite more of you to watch me on your television. I think it's not a bad thing to do. I like the idea of having people watching me as a background on the TV as they're doing other stuff, as opposed to being completely focused, 100%. I think it's nice to have some people who are focused, of course, so that we can engage in conversations. But I also like the idea that I can be in the background of some people if they want to learn some bits and bobs, they like my energy, and yeah. Pumpkin puff. Oh, interesting. I've done both, but typically you're on my phone. All right, okay. I think, from next week, I may try to go horizontal. So maybe try, guys, if you are back next week, to catch me on your TV and see how I come across on big screen. I got Winter Olympics on. Haha, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Michelle McGrath. I watch more on phone, but landscape mode would be easy. All right, okay. So we are having some sort of consensus here. Pumpkin puff. I don't consider your background sound, but I don't care if you're vertical or horizontal. You don't consider the background a sound? What do you mean, I don't consider your background sound? I don't understand this. But you don't mind if I go either. Okay. So maybe I'll try next week and see what happens. If I have some positive feedbacks, I'll stick to that. Pumpkin puff. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Just explain to me what you meant. That'll be useful. What you doing? I'm getting ready for my TikTok post. In 4 minutes, I will post my third TikTok short video of today. I meant, don't consider your background sound. But I don't know, what do you mean, consider background sound? What does it mean to consider a background sound? I don't understand that. What does a sound background means? Is it my English? Oh, I mean, I focus on you. Okay. I understand what you mean. Listen, you're not just watching me with me as background sound. Okay, I get it. Yes, yes, you are absolutely. But I was thinking for other people, and I appreciate absolutely that you are here every week, and I love this. But I'm thinking for other people. Not everyone is ready to talk to me, and so for them, maybe it's easier to just listen to me in the background. And so in that instance, a television would be easier than a phone. Bigger picture, bigger sound, and we can do stuff whilst I'm in the background. Pumpkin puff. Background sound is just for listening. It's my English that's bad today. No, it's okay. I get it. I get it. Thank you. Dead man, help me. I stay in a room for last 10 months. Okay. Tell me about yourself. Are you depressed? Are you suffering from panic attack or anxiety? What is preventing you to come out of the room? Can you tell us, please? I've been there myself, and I understand that it's very easy. It's easier than we may think it is to fall into a mental place, where suddenly we are always indoors and we can't even remember or be able to go outside. So I can talk about this if you want. Pumpkin puff. We need more people asking questions today. It's the nature of things. I think things happen when they're meant to happen. So you're here, and there are a few others like that, and it's okay. It would be nice if there were more people asking questions, but you know what? This is life. We need to make the most with what we have and enjoy it, and this is what I'm doing. And there's always good things coming out of it anyway. I believe that at some point there'll be so many people watching the live that it will be a problem to have too many questions, if anything. Tanner said hi, hello. Dead man on lithium, sertraline, vetroniclin, Zonalta was admitted for a month doing follow-up. Okay. So if you're taking all of this stuff, it means that you have a lot of baggage, right? So if you can't go out, it's because of a lot of reasons. And so if I'm going to help you, I need to know more about you. I cannot possibly give you any recommendations knowing that you are taking all of this stuff. What I could do is to invite you to come back and to talk to me, talk to us regularly if you feel like it on my live streams. I come here twice a week, every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. I'm always here, unless if I have an illness. But I will always do my best to come here twice a week. And so if you feel like it, join us and talk to us. Tell me about yourself. And I do my best based on what I have in the moment to help you out in whichever way I can. Do you want to just tell me about yourself? Do you know about Ames Delhi? No, I don't. I need to Google this. AIIMS Medical School in New Delhi, India. All India Institute of Medical Science, Delhi. Is that what you mean? So I just Googled this. I don't know about it, but it's a school. Medical Science School. Pumpkin Puff. I have a question. How do you love unconditionally? It's a very good question. We realize that unconditional love exists. but it only exists in the moment. And so a lot of people find it impossible to practice or to even consider unconditional love because we forget about the element of time. We think that if I love someone unconditionally, it's forever. And this is not possible because we all have different facets, different moods, different situations, and so it's not possible. But this is not what unconditional love is about. Unconditional love is how you love someone in the moment. If you really love someone, if you accept a person fully in that moment, this is unconditional love, right? The next moment you may not love them anymore because they do or say something that is disappointing you or annoying you, but then the following moment you can love again. And so the first aspect of unconditional love is to realize that it is temporal, it's temporary, like everything in life. Nothing lasts forever. Now, there is one type of unconditional love that we can develop. But again, it's going to go up and down because it's something we need to practice. It's a skill. And it's self-unconditional love. We may not be able to love unconditionally everyone, but we can certainly love ourselves unconditionally over time. And this is what we want to do. And the more we're able, for those of us who are able to reach that state where we accept everything about ourselves, then it will be easier for us to love people more, better, longer. And some of them, it may be unconditional. We can get to the idea that I can love people unconditionally, yet set boundaries. So it takes a lot of work. I think vast majority of us will not get there, but some of us can. And the idea is that I love myself so much that I accept myself entirely, so I can learn how to accept others as well. Accepting others doesn't mean allowing them to hurt me. It's accepting that no one is perfect, and that as long as they're not threatening me, I can still see them, and I can accept them for the good things about them. I can focus on the good stuff, as opposed to focusing on the bad stuff. I hope it makes sense. It's a good conversation. I am learning how to be loving people unconditionally, despite everything. Because we can love the person, but not the behavior. We can understand that the behavior is the result of their conditioning, of their past, of their upbringing. And so there's a difference here between someone's potential, someone's soul, someone's inner being, and their behavior, which is what the ego, the humanity, has developed over time because of a belief system and an upbringing and an environment that they have not chosen anyway. And so that goes back to when Indian says namaste. One of the translation is, the divine in me salutes the divine in you. So we're looking at people past their behavior, past the labels, past the judgment. We're seeing the potential, the soul. And so in that sense, we can love someone unconditionally. Someone may go through a lot of things and suffer, and we may say to them, I see you, I love you, I do my best to help you out, and I love you unconditionally, no matter what you do and no matter what you say, as long as you don't hurt me, then I love you. But even if you try to hurt me, I can still love you once I've created a space. I can love you from afar, right? And it's valid. I can love some family members, some people who have hurt me in any which way. I can still find love for them. But I know that I understand that they are, at this point in time in their journey, not ready. We're not ready to align with one another. They have too much baggage. And so it's easier to create a space for both parties, but I can still love them from afar. I just need to post my TikTok post. I was talking about it and I didn't do it. And just let me double check something. Yeah. The inability to face trauma. Inability to face change. To face change. Trauma response. Is a trauma response. I just want to double check that I haven't. Again, no matter. Yes, that's the one. The inability. Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to come on here.
I'm just going to make sure that it's out and then I'll get back to you. Come on. the inability to. That's it. Let's go. Let it go. Okay, so let's go back. So that was about unconditional love. Very interesting conversation. Tanner, which treatment modality do you advocate? Pharmacotherapy or cognitive behavior therapy? I'm not great with medications. I used to be a drug addict myself and an alcohol addict for up to the age of 38, 39. And so I believe that we all have within us the abilities to change and heal without needing anything extra. Having said that, there's a thing for everyone. So for some people, it may be helpful. Now, you're asking, is it better to take drugs or to do CBT? What I would say to you is that there are many, many ways for people to get better. It can be this or that, but also there's a lot of other things, a lot of other protocols, a lot of other modalities. And so it's not about thinking which one is best. It's about finding out which one is best for you at this point in time in your journey. In other words, there's not one system in the world that works for everyone. Not one. There's, however, at least one system that will work for you. And it's for you to do your homework and to find out what would resonate the most with you, which person you trust to be the best at using that tool with you, and then go on the journey with them. Does it help? And also, it's not just one thing. Healing is a journey. And so sometimes through our healing journey, people may try different things. They may try a little bit of CBT, they may try a little bit of some somatic healing modalities, they may do some yoga, they may do some meditation, they may go on a holistic journey, learn about some different spiritual perspective, they may take drugs, medications, they may, I don't know, but tons of stuff. They may do hypnotherapy with people like me. I am a hypnotherapist. There's a lot of different ways, and even within the hypnotherapy, there's a lot of different ways to utilize hypnotherapy. And so it's about you finding out what will work for you at this point in time. Does it answer your question, Tana? Deadman, any public email? What do you mean by any public email? About the All India Institute of Medical Science in Delhi? I don't understand. Pumpkin Puff, do you think that BPD affects unconditional love? It affects, well, everyone has an ability to experience unconditional love because of belief, because of many things. So it's not just the BPD. However, the BPD is going to get us to shift very quickly from all white, all black, back and forth very quickly. So the BPD affects our emotional regulation. So we are very over the top and we overreact very quickly all the time. I think you are thinking too much. It doesn't matter whether you have BPD or whether you have anything at all. It's about learning to remember what I said about it and do our best to apply this. That's it. Yeah. Don't delete your focus in the wrong places. Pumpkin Puff. All that reminds me of, if you can't love yourself, how do you expect to love others? Yes, RuPaul. We're huge fans of RuPaul. We watch all the shows that we can watch from the franchise religiously. So we found out that there's so many more from other countries we haven't explored yet. There's Drag Race, Thailand, Amsterdam, France, so many places, Philippines. It's amazing. At some point, I'd be interested to have a television package that allows me to see explore things like. But there's quite a lot. At the moment, there's RuPaul, Drag Race, UK versus the world. And that's quite a good one. Yes, RuPaul actually has done a lot of work on themselves. You can tell. He talks about mindset, about love, about self-acceptance all the time. And you would expect it from someone who has to deal with the world in the way he was all those years when it was absolutely very underground back then. Tana, is love a need for us or just a preference? It is a need. Love is the energy of creation. It's an energy that gets us to connect with people, to connect with our creativity, to connect with the divine, to connect. And so love is a very fundamental aspect of our human experience. Absolutely. Now it's got many different faces, and there are different ways to look at it or to approach it. But love is a fundamental aspect of our human experience. And if anything, if you're looking to look at it like that, is the one thing we come in this life for, to experience some form of love. Love from our creator, love from people, love from our community, love from our kids, love from our passion, some sort of love from this moment, being at peace in nature, whatever it may be. It's a connection. Mr. OCD, Didi Khan, years ago, back in the rave days, UK 1990s, I did LSD, etc., and was able to reflect back at myself and positive outcome. Yes, I remember I used to take LSD a lot of acids, like a ton of them. I used to take all sorts of things, and I used to do cocktails. So it would be difficult for me to know which one did what, because that fluctuated state all throughout the days and nights. But I remember that some people indeed had some positive experiences with it. Yeah. In the 1990s, a lot of people had some acid, and that was full of love and a very high, positive high. So by then, I didn't do these drugs anymore. For me, it was more during the 80s than the 90s. And acid was a 90s drug. But I had very similar in the past. So I can understand for some people it can be interesting, but I would never recommend it to anyone because it can also be disastrous. And for those who have a propensity to get addicted, it can be very dangerous. And so, but there are people who utilize drugs. What's the name? Is it ayahuasca? To go into some mental spaces, and I've heard a lot of positive about it. But it's got to be done with some people who know how to do those things. I know some of my friends who have some ayahuasca retreats and they just made things up and they're like, ooh, really? But there are some people who are quite reputable, and maybe for some of us it can be an interesting experience. SAR S9U, just subbed. Oh, thank you. We listen another time. Audio is very low for some reasons. All right. Guys, if you have any problem with the audio, let me know. If you have a low audio, it may be a problem on your side. Every now and then, I've got people saying that, but then everyone tells me that they're okay. So it may be because your device is low. Check it out. Sometimes also, some people just enjoy trolling others to get them to doubt themselves. So I'm not saying that you are. You may be, but you may not be. But in any which way, but whatever it is, guys, if you have a problem with the audio, let me know, and I will address this. If not, then SAR S9U, either you are a narcissist troll, or you're not. You're a nice person, but your device is not working properly. Okay. But something tells me that you're a troll, because there's one thing that narcissists do. They give you something nice, and then they give you a little microaggression to get you to react. And so what is the thing nice that you said before? I just subbed, right? And this is a very clear sign, guys. Something interesting, if you come across anyone who's like that, narcissists often do that. They give you a shit sandwich. No, it's not a shit sandwich. No, this is another thing. They give you something nice, like, oh, I really like you. But what's wrong with your face? And so because they told you that they really like you, oh, very nice. Oh, they really care about me. There's something wrong with my face. And now you get the reaction that they expected from you. And now they're manipulating you like a puppet. And so my intuition tells me that this is who you are, SAR S9. So please don't do this. I can see you. If you feel that you have to get people's reaction from strangers on the internet because you are not happy about your life, this is not the right place. If you need some help, For your own problems, if you're a narcissist and you believe that you want to change, we can talk about it. I'll be happy to do this. I have no problem with that. Right? I have no qualm against you. I understand the human nature. I understand that we don't choose our conditions or our belief. But if you're going to want to troll, it's not going to work, just to let you know. So please be kind. Sir S. Nan, Mr. OCD, give me great self-awareness and connection to nature. Okay. Pumpkin Puff, you brought up some really good points, but what I was wondering about, but you somehow knew to mention, loving someone who hurt you, but from a distance until you or they heal is a big part of love. Yes. Or even sometimes you may never see them again. There are some people that we can love and decide not to ever see ever again in our lives because we have been hurt so much. But we can love them as a human being. If we can dissociate the behavior and the hurt from the potential of that person, if you can see the humanity, again, as in Namaste, if you can see the divine in them, then you can still love the divine. I love your experience. I wish you all the best. It's a hard life, but it's your experience, and I wish you all the best with it. However, we're not compatible in this life. Mr. OCD, everything in moderation, don't you think? It depends. It depends, because sometimes it's also good to have a lot of provision of something. A giant chocolate cake. Or like me, I get obsessed. I get hyperfixated on things to do with psychology and the mind. And so for me, moderation is not always a good idea. I love excess. I love over the top, but not always. So maybe moderation in how I'm going to organize things, because otherwise I'm going to lose my brain. too much excitement. I'm going to have a short circuit. And so everything moderation may work for some people. It depends. But again, it all depends. I think what you mean is that everything with an understanding of the bigger picture and knowing what works best for us, in knowing when to do and when to let go, when to focus and when to release. That would be maybe a better way. Maybe that's what you mean by everything in moderation. Is it? Pumpkin Puff, you're right. I overly focus on I am broken because of my BPD, but I don't need to question that. So keep on reminding yourself that you are not broken. It takes time. Even if you know it cognitively, your heart will take so much longer to accept it. Mr. OCD, love is great. Yes, love is awesome, indeed. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, Drag Race is amazing. I think everyone is so talented. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very special show. For me, RuPaul is a very important person to exist and be alive in this world. Pumpkin Puff, I hear you just fine, but I think some people just have the volume low. Sarah, other channels are loud enough. Dear man, just this one is low, sorry. Again, whatever I said applies. So maybe you wrote this before I said what I said, because I'm a bit low. Slow, not low. Mr. OCD, shit sandwich time. Yeah, shit sandwich is a different thing. Sarah, your assumption is so unprofessional and hurtful. Stay blessed. So again, a narcissist. There's an attack, but then stay blessed to still keep it in your pocket. So, yeah. Sarah, it doesn't matter what you say. We can connect or we may not, and it's okay. Mr. OCD, yes, exactly that education. I lost the plot because of Sarah S. Nanu. Anyway, my assumption is not unprofessional at all. I'm here to talk about all things to do with mental health, and I'm here to really channel how I feel, and I'm following my intuition, and I'm here to teach people how to set boundaries, how to recognize people who are being toxic to others, and I think it's a great lesson to learn. And again, I didn't assume 100%. I said either this or that. So you could have either the chance to justify yourself and defend like you've done, or say, no, it's not like that. But for the fact that you reacted to that negatively confirms my original assumption, right? Pumpkin Puff, I think it's funny. The conversation went from love to shit sandwich. Well, sometimes both can happen at the same time. Somehow, life can be intricate and complicated. Okay, we're coming to the end of the thread for now. Thank you for your hearts and the laughter emojis. I'm going to stay another half an hour. If you have anything else you'd like to discuss. I think I'm going to blow my nose off. I'm going to go off screen for 1 second, if you don't mind, please. And also, one last thing that I would like to add for SAR, since it's a good topic, narcissism. What I want to add is that when I talk about NPD, I'm not saying that they're bad people. I understand where they're coming from. I understand where they suffer. And so what I'm trying to do is to engage the conversation. If you have NPD, if you believe that you have, I would love to talk about it. I don't see you as a bad person. I'm saying this is not the right place for this. This is not going to work here. But if you want to talk about it, I'm open to this. So here's me being very professional. Okay. Let's move on. Pumpkin Puff. Life is normally a lot of everything. Yes. Life is everything, precisely. Indeed. I have notes. Anyone else who wants to ask, feel free to. I don't know. What can I talk about? If you don't have more questions, Pumpkin Puff, I normally have many things to ask, but you answer everything I normally ask. Okay. Mr. OCD, I just like hanging out with Didi Khan. Is that okay? Of course, it is okay. What I can do is to keep doing what I've done at the start of the video, is to read my own post and comment on them. And hopefully some of those posts may elicit some conversations. Here's one talking about narcissist. Every time you are happy, you are making this world a slightly better place. Unless, of course, you are a narcissist, a psychopath, a sociopath, a sadist, or a Machiavellian. The exceptions to all rules. So, something. I tend to not talk too much about narcissistic people because I don't want to be one of those people who are always ranting about them. But I have to say, every now and then, it's important to refresh people and remind people that they exist. They are everywhere in the world, and they are not the majority, but they exist. And so it's important to keep our radar on. Better to, yeah. Life's Film. I just wanted to say hi. Hello. Pumpkin Puff. What causes people to become a narcissist? I'm not a specialist about it, but what I do understand about it is that a lot of this system stems from trauma, childhood trauma. So they have developed a sense of self that is extra. There's a lot of unworthiness. They hate themselves. But the system that they have created to protect themselves from that shame is the illusion that they're better than others. So they're trying to really convince themselves before they try to convince others. And so it's a system that exists to make them feel safe and accepted. I'm better. I can only exist if I'm better than others. And by controlling and manipulating others, that kind of tells them that they are better because they have control over them. They're superior. And so it's a terrible thing to suffer from. Narcissistic people suffer an awful lot. They control people, they create a lot of division, they manipulate people, but at the end of the day, they hate themselves. And it gets worse with age, because generally speaking, people who are narcissists also have a physical appearance that are flattering, that allows them to be charismatic and charm people. But as they get older, that disappears, that goes. And so very often, I think always, narcissistic people, as they get older, they become more bitter and bitter and bitter, because as they get older, they're less able to control people. They're less able to lie, to control, to gaslight. And so eventually people can see them and they leave them and they end up on their own. They're very bitter. And it's not a nice way to live. Now there are more and more narcissistic people who are aware of this and they are trying to change. I believe that it's possible to change. In the past, a lot of my colleagues would say it's possible, and I don't believe in that. I believe that everything is possible, but it will not happen for everyone. But if you have that awareness, if you have the opportunity to do something about it, I think now it's happening more and more. So because of TikTok, because of YouTube, because of Instagram, people are talking more about this. So now there's more awareness, and so there's more possibilities for people on the NPD spectrum, whether they're diagnosed or not, to change. Pumpkin Puff, I ask because my father is one. I can understand why his childhood has, as you said, but I always fear I will become one or already am. No. One of the results of having a parent that is narcissistic, that is a narcissist, is to often have BPD, right? So you don't need to worry about the NPD. You are BPD. It's actually, they're very close. There are two cluster B personality disorders, NPD and BPD. So we are very similar. So if you understand this, that can help you understand your dad better as well. But again, you don't have to forgive him if you're not ready for that. You don't have to. Of course not. Jean D+. My dad has antisocial personality disorder, so broke contact with him. He got abused as a child, and now he's abusing other people. He even spent 18 years in jail because of it. I'm sorry to hear. I wish you well, and I wish your dad well with whatever you're going through. Sadly, we should be aware that everything that we are is the result of whatever happened to us before. So we're the continuation of a momentum that started before us. And so the work about self-awareness is to realize this and stop the momentum and change and stop the curse. Because if we don't change, if we have children, we're going to pass the trauma down to our children. But even if we don't have children, if we have this baggage, we're going to impact the world negatively. Every single person that we encounter, at a romantic level, or professional, or friendly, colloquial level, we impact one another all the time with who we are. And so if we haven't healed our own wounds, the wounds passed to us by our parents, we're going to somehow keep on spreading them like a virus, like an infection. Jean D+, some people never change. Yes and no. I believe that we all change in some capacities in some ways, but maybe they don't change the way we expect them to change. And there's also another theory. My theory is that I believe that because I believe that we come into this life to experience a human experience, the whole of it is valid. And I like to believe that either at the very end of our life or when we pass, then we understand. Then we realize everything that happened. And that's how we're going to be able to make sense of everything. So I believe that people can change. I believe that the majority of people can change, even if it's their last days before they die, last hour, last minute. They can realize, now I'm going to go, now I can see, this is what happened. And then, bang, they pass away. Or maybe it happens during the transition or after. So it all depends on your spiritual belief. But I believe that we are constantly changing. I believe that we are eternal. I don't believe in death. I believe that we are eternal consciousness. We just move on from one dimension to another. Life, death, whatever it's called, doesn't matter. We just shift. I believe in eternal consciousness. That's my belief. Pumpkin puff. Oh, so NPD creates BPD often, right? Often, and it makes sense. NPD is about control and manipulation. BPD is about the fear of abandonment. So, yeah. But then there's a lot of different frequent situations, like autism also creates NPD. So it's not just this or that. But in your case, what I was trying to say is that in your case, if you know that you have BPD and you know that your dad has NPD, it makes complete sense. Pumpkin puff. I speak with him more often than I probably would if he was not completely alone. He left me as a kid, but my extended family has made me feel like I need to be there for him. It's a weird situation. You don't have to. Fuck them. Pardon my French. Fuck them. If your extended family wants to spend time with him, they should spend time with him, not tell you to do that. They're manipulating you. Who are they to tell you that? Tell them, you know what, you do your thing, I do mine. You don't have to do anything. To me, this sounds pretty narcissistic to me as well. Right? Jean D+. I do forgive him. He can't help it. I'm happy that I'm nothing like him. Okay, good on you, Jean. I'm glad. It's not because you have been able to forgive him. It's because you are in a better place that allowed you to forgive him. We don't choose to forgive. We only forgive once we have healed. So I'm happy for that fact. Mr. OCD, I run my own business, which I also reception for, and the general public are an interesting bunch. What are your thoughts on the general public? I don't know. What do you mean by this? People are people. And so it depends. What do you mean by that? What gets you to think about that thought? What sort of interactions do you want to address? General public is just people. So they're going to be different depending on the type of the business it is, what you offer, depending on the environment, what the business is about. We all shift state depending on our environment and context. And so I don't know. Is it a business that is in a very noisy place where people are intoxicated? Is it a business where people are prepared and it's quite expensive? So they are in a certain mental frame before they come to your business. It can be anything at all. What do you mean by general public? If you can give me some more specificity, then we can address the question. At the moment, it's too vague for me to understand. Pumpkin Puff, I just made it so that I talk to him on my time, and I'm working on boundaries because he breaks them often. Why don't you address the extended family? What do you tell them? Why do they feel that they can't tell you to do something? How about that? Rosie Lariu, message retracted. Pumpkin Puff, that is very interesting. I didn't realize one thing can cause another. Yes, everything causes other things. We live in a universe that functions on the law of cause and effect. So whatever happens is always because of something else. And that thing will create other things. Whatever stone is thrown in the lake will create some ripples. And so this is the butterfly and the hurricane effect. We're all connected and intertwined through our actions, behavior, but also choices of inactions. Because there's a constant flow happening. And so we are a momentum, other people are as well. And the way we clash, the way we connect or not is going to create more situations. This is the state of everything. This is why so many believe that there's no such thing as free will. Everything was always meant to happen. This is why I say always that everything is always meant to happen. Also. Rose Hilario, I always wondered if my ex, who is NPD, also was autistic. It's possible. So this is the thing. People don't realize that a lot of things, they can be very often misinterpreted. I see that a lot. Again, my husband is on the autism spectrum, and sometimes, in some ways, it can be expressed, such as if they had NPD. They can be very rigid. They need their system. They can be very intolerant of anything that doesn't go with their system. And so, yeah. When it comes to understanding people, whatever labels that we're going to use, you need to understand that there's a lot of overlaps with all of them. It's not a clear science. It's something that is still evolving, and people are still trying to understand deeper about human behavior. And so, yeah. Or maybe there could be also both. We can have more than one condition at the same time. Pumpkin Puff. It is, haha, you're right. I don't know why everyone else doesn't want to be trained by him, but they put me in that position. So let's rephrase that. They didn't put you in that position. You allowed yourself to be influenced by them and end up in that position. You did it to yourself, and you can stop it, and you can change it. And I'm not saying this to be horrible to you, but for you to realize that you have power. You're never a victim. There's nothing that you have to do. The only reason you're in that situation is because you are allowing them in your head. You're allowing yourself to believe them and to do whatever they tell you. You are doing this. No one is doing it to you. And so you can change this. That's why I'm saying this, right? Now that you know. It's a huge sore spot, actually, that I kind of repressed. Gene D+. Autism runs on both sides of my family. But is it true you get the gene from your dad? It depends. I'm not sure about this. I don't know about, I can't recall anything that I've read about this right now. I know that there's a genetic element. I'm not sure if it's for that, because I think those things are still evolving. Is autism passed on genetically by the father? So Google is telling me yes, autism can be passed on genetically by the father. But the results show that both parents contribute. So it says that at this point in time, there seems to be stronger influence from the father genes, but it's not exclusive. I don't believe that it's useful to think that it's passed on by the father more than the mother. I believe that it's passed on by the parents, and understanding this is enough. Because we are all on the spectrum of something in some capacity anyway. Thank you for your heart. Yeah, that's what I say. I know that a lot of things to do with genes are passed on by the mother. I've read extensively a lot of things about how we already exist in our grandma, in the ovaries. And so, yeah. But I think it's both anyway. Pumpkin Puff, because I was a pushover, the people pleaser, okay? Pumpkin Puff, I'm working on it. Thank you for your heart. I'm working on it, but it's definitely another huge hill for me to climb, okay? We can talk about this if you want. Gene D+, my therapist said people with autism can't have personality disorder. Okay? Maybe, I don't know. I haven't thought about this, to be honest with you. So this is a new conversation for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I just know that we can have comorbidities, just like I have. But can someone on the autism spectrum have a personality disorder? According to Google, yes. Individuals on the autism spectrum can have a co-occurring personality disorder, as the two are not mutually exclusive. So that's what I had in mind, but I was not sure. So I'm checking. Yeah. I don't know everything. where research indicates that autistic individuals are more frequently misdiagnosed with personality disorder, specifically borderline personality disorder, due to overlapping symptoms like emotional regulation difficulties. So yeah, just based on the AI in Google, we disagree with with what your therapist said. I don't know for sure, but just based on what I know so far, I don't see why there would be a contradiction anyway. Pumpkin Puff. Gosh, I'm typing a lot today. It's a good thing. Thank you. I appreciate your input, though. You're completely right. I just have been allowing it. Okay, thank you for realizing this. True, it's in my power to change. Yes, it is. Thank you for your heart. I understand that everything you're saying isn't to be harsh. It's my own fault to allow myself to be in the position in the first place. Yes. But then the next thing you can do is to be kind to yourself and say, it's not that it's your fault, as in, oh, you bad. It's just you didn't know. But now that you know, you can change. Pumpkin Puff, it just felt easier than arguing with everyone about it. Yeah. So again, no one is important enough for you so that it costs your peace. Yeah. Even if they are family members. If they are difficult on your nervous system, because you already have your baggage to deal with, I would suggest for you to limit your exposure to them and spend more time with people who are lifting you up, who are making you feel better, who are seeing you through, and who are helping you. For me, if your family tells you to see your dad, so I don't know if they know it, but if they know that he has NPD and you have BPD, it's the worst advice you can ever give to anyone. And if they know, it shows an extreme level of selfishness. Pumpkin Puff, where do you even start with stopping people pleasing? We start with the belief that we must please them. So again, this is the BPD. We believe that we're not enough. We believe that we must change our personality. We must do anything we can to be loved and accepted by others. So it's a big conversation to have. And it's a process that is about your own whole, full-on healing journey. Oh, they all know. Okay, so that gives you an idea about how they are in regards to you. So maybe think about it. Maybe you don't need to give them so much time or so much power. I wouldn't. You can still see them, but you don't have to allow them to control you, to make you feel any which way anymore. And that could be the start of your journey to heal the people pleasing. Just that in itself, learn how to let sink that idea in, and then take action on it. Whatever is easier for you to do it. You may not even have to see them. Send them a text message, guys, I had enough. You don't need to explain. You don't need to justify. If you said that they know, they know. Forrest Berger. Good evening, Didi. Just saying hi to you and everyone in the chat. Thank you. Hello to you, Forrest. Pumpkin Puff. It is the joke that he just talks about himself forever and he never asks anything but will act like we are close. This is a great conversation for me to work on my breathing. Mr. OCD. Didi Khan, have you ever had to help someone with phantom limb syndrome so that is someone who still feels pain in a limb that no longer exists? No, I never had the chance. No. Do you have this? I know about it. And this is a very good way to illustrate how our brain creates a reality for us. Even when we lose a limb, we're still going to feel pain even though the limb is not there anymore, because the brain has created a habit, and if for whatever reason it has not upgraded to the new situation, it still feels as if it's still real. Mr. OCD asks, pain can be emotional and physical. Yes, pain is created in your brain. You feel it in your body, but it's created in your brain. And yes, pain, emotional and physical pain are the same. If you think about it, an emotion is a physical sensation. And so emotional pain is physical pain. It's just that it's not something that we see from the outside. When you have pain, the hormone that your body is going to create and the neurotransmitter that your brain will produce is endorphin to stop the pain. And endorphin exists to soothe both physical and emotional pain. I think as far as your mind-body is concerned, it's the same thing. Mr. OCD, have you experienced this type of situation? I haven't lost my limbs, so no. What do you mean by that? We can talk about pain if you want. It's a very, very fascinating subject. We can absolutely learn how to have a better relationship with it, even the physical ones. And I have been through a lot of situations myself where I have learned how to overcome my own relationship with pain. And it makes a huge difference. You can imagine with tattoos, for instance. Gene D+, they have so many symptoms that it can look like anything. You're talking about people who are on the spectrum of either some personality disorder or autism. Listening, thinking, reacting. Hey, it's Didi, just joined. Hello to you. I'm leaving in 10 minutes, so if you have any questions, please do ask now. But thank you for being here. Mr. OCD, my business is healthcare, so yep. So yep, to which bit? Healthcare. A lot of people who are emotionally dysregulated, right? Is that what you mean? So give me a problem to deal with. This is how my brain works. You can give me a problem and a context, and I can suggest something, maybe. People are people. So if you're in healthcare, I don't know what you mean by healthcare, but I'm thinking if you work in a hospital, let's say if you're in the ER department, everyone's going to be all over the place. Even if you're at the GP, if you go to the GP, people there suffer from all sorts of things, physically and mentally. Yeah, and so there's a lot of abuse because of that. I know that when I go and see my GP, they tell me about a lot of people who are abusing the staff racially because everyone is brown or black or yellow. There's very few white. And so there's some people who are not happy with that and they can go absolutely berserk. And that is a problem. But so is it what you meant? If that happens, we need to, there's a lot of things that can be done, but I need to know what you mean before I get there. Gene D+, but in fact, they are just misunderstood and still in a healing phase. But if you look at it like that, we're all in a healing phase and we are all misunderstood. All of us. We try to understand self first, and then some people may also understand us or not. And so we're all on that journey anyway. And this is why it's so important to go on that journey of self-awareness, to start to be able to see past the veil, the illusion, we're all doing our best. And we're all in this journey for the same reason, to find peace, connection, and experience the best of our human experience. Forrest, after last Friday, I wrote a declaration to myself for positive growth, even if it's just 1% a day, taking accountability for my future self, walking every day helps too. Fantastic. So I remember a lot of people talk about adding 1% every day, and it's going to be a zillion percent eventually. But remember that what matters is the direction, because you may not be able to add 1% every day. Some days you may add 10%, some day minus 50, it goes up and down, right? What matters is the direction. And so, well done. Congratulations on that. I think what you mean when you say is that what matters is for you to focus on the baby steps. And not only taking baby steps, but enjoying them. So this is the most important part of healing, is to find a way, if we can, to enjoy the process. So we must make it as simple, as easy as possible. Because when it's simple and easy, there's more chance for us to actually appreciate what we are doing. Healing doesn't always have to be painful. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. It's not a requirement. Some people have been through some healing, spectacular healings, people I've worked with, and there's no pain at all. It was all, maybe there's a little bit of tears at some point because we have to release those things. It's normal, but it's not pain. It's not like, oh, it's super hard. But no, well done. Good on you, Forrest. I'm happy for you. Pumpkin Puff. I am understanding that this is still a sore spot for me, but one thing at a time, I will think about what you said. I guess working on my BPD is the more important part, right? Yes, and you are doing this already. So again, it's not about working on your BPD, it's about learning to be kind to yourself. Appreciate your progress. We always go back to that part, don't we? Mr. OCD, podiatry, private practice. Yes, they can. It's exactly that. Okay. Lots of abuse and behavior just because someone is paying you for a service, etc. So it's for you to set your boundaries and to tell them you can't abuse me, otherwise we're not going to take the business. But do you work for the NHS? I think you should be trained for that. And if not, get someone to organize something to teach you guys how to learn not to take it personally. And I know that it's super hard, but this is what we want to do. We want to learn how to see people under a different lens. If you see someone like, why are they so rude to me? Now you're going to be hurt because you're going to think, I want to tell them to F off, but I can't because I want to be professional. But if you could shift this over time, it's a skill. But if you can learn how to see them like people who suffer, people who don't think straight because they've been suffering for too long and they are at the end of their tether and they don't know what else to do and they're losing it, they're overwhelmed. Now it may be easier for you to find patience and compassion for them and not be affected by them. But if you're still hurt because of your own wounds from the past, it's going to be difficult not to react to their attack. So example, if you suffer from racism, for instance, and they're going to say something racist to you, no matter what I say to you at this point in time, you're not going to be able not to react at it because you're going to be emotionally triggered, and it's totally normal if you haven't not healed yet. And so it's difficult because a lot of people are put into situations where they're not trained to deal with the situations. And I can see this with the NHS. I'm thinking I would love to do some workshops where I can train staff to not get stressed out from the situations because they have enough work as it is on their plate. So we don't need that. And so yeah, it's learning that if you can change the way you look at them, you are looking at the waiting room instead of seeing normal people, as in people with good behavior, polite, good manners. See a bunch of people who are in pain and they don't know how to deal with that and they need some extra patience and care. It's like if you knew that a kid was was a non-verbal autistic kid, then you would understand that they may be over stimulated and have some meltdown. And so if the kid has a meltdown, if you have learned about it, you will know that it's not their fault. So you want to de-escalate, you want to do your best to get them to regulate themselves eventually. But you will not make it worse. And you will not judge them. You will be extra patient. You'll be extra compassionate. And so it's the same with your clients, with your people in the waiting room. And this is the way I look at people. I genuinely look at everyone being potentially on the spectrum of some conditions. Everyone. For me, everyone has got some baggage. And that makes it easier for me to be empathic to all of them. And sometimes it doesn't work because I'm still human, but I do my best. Listening, thinking, reacting. Have you always been a shoot guy, just interested, look good? No, it's just clothes. So I wear all sorts. I wear a lot of gym gear, I wear a lot of very masculine army stuff, a lot of all sorts, a lot of trendy stuff, more colorful things. I've got, I don't know, 20 pair of trousers that are very colorful. I've got all sorts. It depends. But when I go live and when I look after my client, this is my uniform. This is what I wear when I look after my clients, when I take calls, and when I go on social media. I used to wear different things, but now I've decided to have a uniform so that people can recognize me easily. And also, it sets the kind of energy that I want, the sort of vibes that I want to have on my live streams and my videos. I want them to know that I come from a place of professionalism, wanting to help people. That's it. But I do enjoy suits. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of. I used to love fashion, so I used to have a lot of clothes. Now, not so much. I've got some, and I'm happy with that. But one of the things that I wanted to do a long time ago was to be a fashion designer. So I do appreciate anything to do with clothes. But thank you for the feedback. Just happy to be here. Really make your interesting. Just 1 second, please. Thank you for making it, even though I'm about to leave now. But yeah, Pumpkin Puff. Yes, be kind to yourself. I'm trying, and on good days I'm doing it. So thank you, Didi. Fantastic. Always focus on the progress instead of focusing on sometime I do it, sometime I'm not so good. You're always good because you're always doing your best, and your best is good enough. You will not always hit the mark, but as long as you are doing your best, this is the mark. That's all that matters. And it will become better and better over time. And it is happening already, right? Mr. OCD, thank you for the feedback. Thank you. It's after 8. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to read the last comment and slowly say goodbye. Okay. Forrest, prescription for today is 20 minutes of angry cleaning. Just kidding. Why not if it works for you? If you still have some stuff to clean. Pumpkin Puff. I hope you have a great evening, Didi. I hope you didn't I didn't dampen the mood. No, you never do that. But I'm going to follow your example and be kind to myself and work on letting the negative feelings go. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Same to you. Listening, thinking, reacting. I like your response on your outfit and uniform/energy. Thank you. Gabby. Hello, I really like your content. You are great. Bye bye. Much love to you. Thank you so much. Gabs. Gabs D. We go so. Hey Didi, long time no chat. Hope you're doing well. I remember you. I'm doing very well indeed. I'm about to go now, but thank you for popping in, and hopefully we can have a more chat sometime next week. Jean D plus, thank you for responding to my questions and have a great evening. Of course, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for the interaction. I will be back as I always am. Every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time on YouTube. I put 3 short videos both on TikTok and YouTube every day, and 1 long form video on YouTube weekly. So do check it out if you enjoy long form videos. I'm thinking about changing the format, but at this point in time, that's how it goes. And finally, if you need any details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my bio to my website for this. Let me read the last comments. Listening, thinking, reacting. Have a great day. Thank you. Guys, I wish you all the best, whether it's a day or night. Look after yourself. Stay safe. And remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.